Sisodia. These are the visuals from inside the court premises. You can see Manish Sisodia being taken inside the courtroom. This is the special court, the Rouse Avenue Court, where he'll be produced. What does the procedure say? That a procedure says that CBI or any central agency, when under a special act, arrests an accused, however high profile of a nature, there's a medical exam that is conducted, and within 24 hours, the accused is presented before a special magistrate. Because these are charges under the Prevention of Corruption Act, then there is a special magistrate, a court, which is designated to try such matter. Exclusive visuals on your screen. Delhi Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia, within 24 hours of his arrest, is being produced before a special court, a special Prevention of Corruption Court here in the national capital at the Rouse Avenue Court here in Delhi. Well, what is likely to happen? The CBI is likely to seek a custodial interrogation. 14 days is the maximum that they can seek for. Let's see how much the court allows. The arguments are going to happen on both the sides. What are the grounds of arrest? What are the grounds that he should not be arrested? Both sides will be allowed to make their arguments. My colleague Yash with us on the broadcast. Yash, what's the latest you have?
Well, right now, Mr. Sisodia has just entered the courtroom and the proceedings have just begun. And in fact, what the sources have indicated to us is that the CBI would be seeking a 14-day custody in this matter. So the legal team is inside and in fact, the proceedings will be beginning. And in a short time from now, we'll get to know what exactly transpires inside the court. And in fact, Ananya Bhatnagar is reporting from inside the courtroom and he will be getting us all the latest on this. And in fact, the latest right now is that, and we are breaking it on CNN News18, that CBI, the sources are indicating that CBI can seek a 14-day custody in this entire matter.
My colleague Yash with us on the broadcast. Let's give you a quick recap of what has happened in this high-profile investigation so far. The medical examination was conducted at the CBI headquarters itself. You saw the CBI headquarters turning into a fortress with high security arrangements. A political statement, or the battle of perception, which is fought in any high-profile political trial of this nature, was seen on the streets of the national capital. You saw the Aam Aadmi Party workers out in huge numbers protesting. There were heavy security arrangements that were made. Section 144 that was imposed in certain areas. The police requested the Aam Aadmi Party workers to maintain decorum, to go inside their party offices. And amidst that entire political tension, the protests happening outside, the police has, the CBI is able to manage to get Mr. Sisodia presented to court. So this is not certainly happening through video conferencing. He's being presented to the court. You can see those visuals on the screen. Multiple voices have come in on the story. We heard this version from both the sides. The BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party are locked in a bitter battle of words. Legally speaking, what exactly is the case? Manish Sisodia is among the 15 people who have been named in the CBI FIR in the Delhi excise policy case, commonly called the Liquorgate scam. Simply put, the allegation is that the policy was tweaked in a manner to get some kind of benefits to the Delhi government, where Mr. Manish Sisodia was at the helm of affairs. So there's a direct allegation of quid pro quo. There are multiple businessmen who were involved in this entire excise policy scam, who have also been named in the charge sheet and the FIR. Mr. Sisodia so far is not named in the CBI the two charge sheets that have been filed, but there is still a scope for another charge sheet to be filed. Enforcement Directorate, of course, is probing the money laundering charges, and that's another agency which is a part of this entire nexus of multiple agencies looking into this entire matter. Dozens of raids were conducted across the national capital region and in different parts of the country. Yash with us on the broadcast. Yash, this is the battle that we are likely to see in the courts of law, where there would be arguments on both the sides made, whether how much custody should be granted, how long should the custodial interrogation be. But outside the court as well, there is a very strong point that the Aam Aadmi Party is trying to drive home, that this is some kind of political witch hunt and vendetta. The CBI continues to maintain that they have a strong case and testimony and evidence against the Delhi Deputy Chief Minister. What has panned out in the last 24 hours? A quick recap. Yash, if I'm audible to you. We'll try and connect to my colleagues, but those are the latest visuals, exclusive visuals here on CNN News 18. Now, in this excise policy scam, what is the key evidence which is there against Mr. Manish Sisodia? One of the key things is that Dinesh Arora, one of the businessmen who is also supposedly a close aide of Manish Sisodia, has turned into an approver. He was earlier an accused in this case, but now the court has granted him the permission to become an approver. And his testimony against Manish Sisodia and in this entire scam is going to be very, very critical. The number of times the phones were changed, many other things had happened, or the missing files, which sources have indicated, are other pieces of evidence that the CBI is going to rely on. My colleague Arunima also with us on the broadcast. Arunima, Manish Sisodia inside the court premises.
Yes, and what we are hearing, and this is what we were speculating, is that CBI will seek maximum custody possible, which is 14 days. Now, the defense will, of course, rebut that, saying that why do you need 14 days of custody? This is all a paper trail that you have to track down. What we've heard from CBI officers is that the ground for arrest are these. Number one, there is a crucial file which is missing. This file pertains to the decision that was taken about the change in excise policy. Who were the signatories to the decision? How was the decision made? There is nothing that the CBI has at the moment because the file itself is missing. They would want to interrogate Mr. Sisodia to try and ascertain where that file is. If you recall, just a few weeks ago, our CBI team went to Mr. Sisodia's office at the Delhi Secretariat. Now we are told they were possibly looking for that file but could not locate it. Number two, Mr. Sisodia allegedly changed 18 handsets and four SIM cards in August and between August and October 2022. 19th of August is when CBI registered this FIR, and about a week or 10 days before that, the Lieutenant Governor had given the go-ahead for this particular probe. So it's around the same time frame that Mr. Sisodia is changing handsets and SIM cards. Why was he doing that, and where are those mobile phones? So far, CBI has not managed to track them down. So they would tell the court that we want him in custody so that we can track down that phone. Number three, bureaucrats who have told CBI reportedly that the instructions to change the excise policy came informally via WhatsApp. So that's a crucial piece of evidence which CBI has learned, but it needs to substantiate it, and for that also it needs Mr. Sisodia's custody. Reasons possibly that they will give during the course of the next half an hour or so.
Approver's testimony under the Evidence Act would require corroboration. All the points that Arunima raised would require some kind of supporting evidence or corroborative evidence, and that's exactly why they are seeking custody. The argument of CBI in court. I have my colleague Sherin and Yash also tracking all the details from near the Rouse Avenue Court, getting us all the details. Before that, I want to cut across to Ashish Mehershi, who's with us on the broadcast. Ashish, minus the political noise, see for our viewers, what exactly is the evidence that the CBI is relying upon when they arrested Mr. Manish Sisodia? That's what they're going to enumerate before the court today as to what were the circumstances in which this arrest became very, very important and critical.
You know, most important aspect is there are two set of statements that have been given. One is by C. Arvind and one is by R.F. Gopi Krishna. Now, C. Arvind, who was basically secretary of Manish Sisodia, he's from the Danix cadre. He has told the CBI and the Enforcement Directorate both that, you know, at the time when this decision to give the wholesale trade to the private party as well as increase the margins from 5% to 12%, when this decision was taken, this decision was abruptly taken at the house of Arvind Kejriwal, and Manish Sisodia called the secretary C. Arvind, and he was basically told that, you know, to do this. Now, interestingly, neither the expert committee suggested so, neither it was discussed at the level of GM, neither at the level of the cabinet. And suddenly it was decided abruptly that the percentage of margin for the wholesale trade should be from 5% to 12%.